evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Dugout Football Channel. We are back after a week off. We are back, and there is loads to discuss, isn't there? But we will get into it very, very quickly. Guys, remember, like, share, and subscribe. Do what you can to support the channel. We have a lovely panel with us this evening, and a very special guest as well. Joining me is the Welshman, Mr. Connor Niblett from the Cup Council. How are you, Connor?
I'm doing very well, thank you, mate. Proper football's back after 2 weeks off. Actually looking forward to it. I hope Middlesbrough beat United.
That would be lovely. That'd be lovely as well. We've been joined by Mr. Dan from the Mighty Reds TV, and has to be said, I think he's channeling his inner Jamie Webster. Has to be said. Yeah. How are you, Dan?
Yeah, mate, I'm getting that way. I could do with a little trim, maybe, but yeah, he's all right, Jamie, and so yeah, I think it's like a Scouse thing. I don't know whether it's a national thing, but I think they call it in Liverpool a ketwig. I don't know if that's gone national, that phrase.
A ketwig? I've never heard of that.
Yeah. Well, it goes back to the idea that basically you save money on haircuts so you can buy some ketamine. But I didn't know whether it's a national thing or a Liverpool thing, but it's definitely a Liverpool thing. So I think it's a sort of ketwig. But other than that, mate, I'm absolutely fine. But
absolutely, we have been joined by what I'd like to describe as the David Attenborough of podcasting, and it is great to have the legend himself, Mr. Owen Thomas. How are you, Owen?
Well, that's way too much of an introduction. I'm very well. I'm delighted to be compared to a legend, Sir David. Have you seen his My Life on This Planet or whatever it's called on Netflix? It's amazing. It's incredible. Check it out. But after this, because we've got loads of stuff to talk about with Liverpool. Thanks for inviting me back on, Doug. It's a delight to be in. Delight. Excuse me. A delight to see you all.
No, it's great to get you on. And we also have Mr. Jack Mack, LFC, who, hats off to you. 10k views on a Cameroon-Egypt watch-along that you did last night. So hats off to you. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. I think you had the whole of Merseyside watching me last night. Felt like... but yeah, thank you very much and for having me on today, mate. And I can't wait to get stuck into the topics tonight.
Not a problem. There is a few of you in here as well. Liz, thank you very much for sharing the stream as always. You always do. So we really do appreciate it. So thank you very much. Evening, Helen. Hi. Hi, Helen. Long time no see. I know all of 30 minutes. How many channels are you a mod for? Oh, God, here we go. Prediction. Connor ridicules Douglas for his jokes and Jack has to let his cat out.
That's already happened.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, Connor. I did have to leave you a joke earlier. Rolling on the floor laughing. Cannot upset the bromance, Liz. Lol. A high panel. Hello, Michael. Hope you are doing well. Thank you very much for tuning in. Oh, here we go. Antizin, Mr. Anthony. HMS pissed the cup again. Back in actions against the Red Shite on Sunday. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's been a long, long time since you guys have had a Midlands derby, so obviously enjoy that. Hello, Ant and KK Boca. Hi up, Liz. Didn't wait for me, how rude. We'll see you shortly. And hi, Sophie, as well. So, a lot has happened since we were back on air. And the first thing really to say is that we made a signing in January. Luis Diaz signed from Porto for what was reported a £37 million plus 12.5 million in add-ons. Connor, how excited are you to see Mr. Luis Diaz in a Liverpool shirt?
Very, mate. Just first of all, Liverpool signing a player in January. Wow. It's been a very long time. But no, look, all jokes aside, it's a brilliant signing. One signing that the whole of Europe has looked at and gone, you know what, Liverpool have done a really good deal here. And one thing I should really say is thank you, Spurs, for doing all the hard work and Liverpool just swooping in and just taking it done. But no, look, it's a brilliant signing. It offers now competition. I feel a proper competition for Sadio Mane, which, ever since, the news of Luis Diaz, has been brought about. He's been killing it for Senegal, which of course, we'll speak about later on. But it just makes perfect sense for Liverpool report saying that, he was the number one target in the summer. And, if the deal could be done short and sweet, now it's a no-brainer for Liverpool to do him. And we did. We went in and got him. And, fingers crossed, we see him on Sunday.
Yeah, Dan, obviously, he has got the number 23 shirt. Were you surprised that we made this signing?
I think we all were, weren't we, mate? As Connor said, no one was really expecting us to do any deals. It certainly didn't seem to be particularly in the pipeline, did it? But obviously Spurs brought it forward for us, done all the as Connor said, done all the legwork for us, and it just come out of nowhere. And there was a bit of talk that Spurs were after him, but he was holding out for Liverpool. But I didn't pay much heed to it. I really didn't. And then the next thing it just came, didn't it? It was absolutely brilliant. The deal was done. It looks like a real good signing. And not only that, it's annoyed Spurs, hasn't it? And Daniel Levy. What I couldn't understand was that there was this report that Daniel Levy reported our recruitment staff to John Henry. And I couldn't work that one out. It's like, I'll just snitch on someone to their own boss.
Yeah.
I couldn't work that one out. It was a bit weird. But apparently John Henry said he was delighted with the deal, and I'm sure he absolutely was as well.
It's
so yeah, all good. It was a bit of a surprise, but yeah, a happy surprise.
Yeah, it was pretty mental. Let's be honest. It was very, very mental. But Owen, obviously Diaz, probably the best player against Liverpool in those two games for FC Porto. How excited are you to see our first ever Colombian at the club?
I'm really excited because he's a genuine option. I mean, what do you want to see in a wide player? You want to see goals, you want to see dribbling, you want to see pace, and he's got those undoubtedly. But I wasn't that impressed with him when he played against us. Even watching they tried to pick out all the best bits. Yes, he's got a bit of explosive pace, etc., all that. But I wasn't actually. I thought we kept him quiet because I had identified him as the danger man for Porto before we played them. And so I kept a close eye on him in both games. And I thought we kept him relatively quiet very well. So he's obviously got a lot of room for improvement. But, some of the stats are just, if you look just from this season, 1.08 goal involvements per match, so more than a goal or an assist per match, which is incredible. Most of them goals. But if you compare that to last season or the season before, he wasn't very good at all statistically. So this is one of two things. We've either got a player who has just begun his rocket liftoff into the stratosphere of world stardom, or we've got the new Sandro Ramirez or whatever his name was from Everton, who also was brilliant before he joined the Ev. So I'm not going to urinate on anyone's parade. I'm going to join in and be optimistic and say that I'm really excited about this guy. But, and also, very importantly, I'm going to give him as much time as he needs to settle in and, be as part of the team. But there is this statistical element which makes me think, well, I just hope and pray that it's not just a hot streak that he's been going through this season.
Yeah. I think that is very, very fair. Jack, I must admit, Carragher actually tweeted in response to getting 23. Oh, he's going to be a great signing. He's already got a Klopp hug as well. How excited are you, and how excited is Jurgen Klopp about having him, do you think?
Excited, mate. I think we all want a Jurgen Klopp hug one day off the boss. But yeah, as the lads have already alluded to, it's going to add such squad depth, and which every single one of us have been speaking about since Jurgen's come into the club. We want a lot of strength in all areas of the pitch. Obviously, getting the right players, as Owen said, he's not a polished diamond. He's very much a diamond in the rough. Like very much Mane, Salah. They weren't the finished product ready when he come into the club. Jurgen coached him in the right areas, developed him. Pep Lijnders, I think you only have to see Pep Lijnders, the way in which he speaks about every player, but I'm pretty sure he would have spoke very heavily with Jurgen Klopp in terms of recruiting him, how he sees him embedding into the squad. But competitive, especially we can field, especially come not just this year, obviously, as hopefully we do progress through the FA Cup and all cup competitions, but we can strengthen in all areas. We can play Jota and Diaz in the FA Cup and the Capital One Cup, and then obviously play with Mane and then Salah in the league, and then rotation. So it strengthens us in all areas and every aspect of the club, mate. Very positive, and it's great to see. And obviously, there's so many Colombian Reds out there, and obviously, judging from everyone's videos, they're very excited.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Ant says, I'll hate every second the tot's finished. I think he means Nottingham Forest, Leicester. The Ants will get squished Sunday. Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm excited to see Diaz play. I think we're all excited to see Diaz play. Ants army shall rise. Hello, the panel. Hello, Sebastian. Hello, Andrew Williams. I'm guessing you'll be a Liverpool fan for a day, because I know you're a big swan, so you'll be hoping that Cardiff get really battered as well. What's that saying? Get battered everywhere they go? Sorry, Nathan and Paul. Like a phoenix from the ashes? Yeah. Lol. Vamos, Luis Diaz. Is Luis Diaz related to the Diaz brothers? No, I don't think so. As Jack says, smash that subscribe button, smash that like button. What a cutie pie. Second Colombian, Anderson Arroyo is the first, but has never played. I could not tell you who that was, Michael. In all honesty, I didn't realise Jarvis Cocker was a Liverpool fan. I think
that's stars in their eyes tonight.
I know it is. Hi, Chris Wells. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you've actually got better weather, actually, because at one point today, I don't know if you guys have seen it on Twitter, but 3:27, it was snowing. It was very, very heavy sleet, and then about 5 minutes later, it was bright sunshine again. So British weather, eh? Diaz got a Klopp hug. He will be grand. Hi, Chris. Is Carvalho confirmed for the summer? We will get to that. We'll get to that very shortly as well. Diaz already got the club welcome of a laugh and a bear hug, teddy bear hug. Yep. Yes, OMG, effing slaughter them. Wow. Well, we'll try our best. How's it going, lads? We're all tickety-boo, I think, is the safest term, and I hope you are doing well as well. So, yes, we will move on to the second part, because is Fabio Carvahlo looking to be the first signing of the summer? Connor, it's looking very, very likely it could be.
Yeah, well, I don't want to say it's a done deal, because I just have, a certain Frenchman flashbacks. I won't name names. But, it does look very, very good. Reports suggesting that Liverpool and Fulham are happy to go ahead with what was already agreed with, which, should just be no nonsense, get the medical done, and he should be a Liverpool player in the summer. He has a very, very high ceiling above him. I think all of us, we've spoken about, how good Carvalho is. And look, like Jurgen, it's funny as well, because Jurgen, he never speaks about players in press conferences, but today he made he said that we are interested in we want him practically at the club, which he never does. So I think that's a great indicator suggesting that Liverpool are firmly wanting Carvalho for the summer.
Yeah, 100%. And obviously, we can say from his season, Dan, that Carvalho looks like definitely one for the future.
100%. Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. Last time I was on, I didn't know much about him. Did I? I remember we were talking about. I didn't know whether he was centre back or whatever. I wasn't too sure. Because there was sort of Phillips going out and him coming in, and I think I said to you guys, "What is he centre back?" And he said, "Nah, he's right winger." So I've obviously paid a bit more attention to him since then. And yeah, he looks like a real prospect, doesn't he? Disappointed to not quite get it over the line, because it always puts that little, even if it's just 0.1% of doubt or whatever, just in your mind. But I'm sure we'll get it done. There was a guy, I don't know what his credentials were, but he was coming out on Twitter today and said it's a done deal, but I don't know who he was. People seem to be retweeting it and saying, so he seems to have some legs in it. But yeah, I'm sure it'll be completed shortly. And another good sign, another one for the future, isn't another one where people have been over-egging this point, I think, about this agent squad we've got, but now with just a couple of tweaks you're already seeing the next gen coming. And what's exciting for me is that the number one most important person at Liverpool is Klopp. Obviously, he's due to leave, isn't he, in 2024? But the one thing I think that might make him want to stay is, if you'd excite him, with the next team, and that's already starting to develop now. And hopefully, in a couple of years, he might look at it and think, I've got a good chance to go again with this lot now, with your Canates and your Elliott and Diaz and Carvahlo and Centre still only being his mid-20s, etc., and it goes on, and Kelleher. So yeah, that's the good thing. Buy a few younger players and sort of excite Klopp with the next gen project, and hopefully, get him to commit for a bit longer again. Yeah,
absolutely, and obviously he'll be sort of. How do I say it, Owen? I mean, you from what I can tell from obviously like WhatsApp messages, obviously on like a Cop On group chat, everybody seems to be very excited about Carvalho potentially coming.
Yeah, absolutely. He was actually someone, because I do this sort of geeky thing when I've got a spare moment like I did today, and I go through stats of players who I don't even know to see who looks good according to the stats. And Fabio Carvahlo was someone who I identified, and I posted on the WhatsApp group like, wow, look at this kid, he looks incredible. And the next day were the rumours about us being interested in him. So I reckon Jurgen Klopp is pretending to be someone in the WhatsApp group, and he obviously cottoned onto it. Because today, Tanguy Nianzou, have you heard of him? Bayern Munich youngster. He's from Paris, 19 years old. He's another one. I got incredibly excited at about 4 p.m. today when I was just like, oh my God, look at his stats. They look great. Defensive midfielder. But anyway, Fabio, as far as Carvalho is concerned, I mean, it was a great answer by Dan. The future looks great because it's really important to attract brilliant young players to Liverpool. But we're not just like a Dortmund. We're not just someone who, a team that can offer all these young talents, where you'll get first team football and, you'll be, we'll give you some Champions League experience. But we've also got this core of brilliant players who still have 3 or 4 seasons left in them. Mo Salah, Alisson, Virgil, etc., etc. The list goes on and on and on. And so it's so exciting to have these brilliant youngsters because, when you talk about Elliott and Curtis Jones is only 20, Fabio Carvalho is a wonderful thing. And I'm really happy the deal didn't go through because I think staying at Fulham in the Championship when he's going to be sort of, if he needs to have his wits about him, or else they'll just try and kick him all the time, like people do in the Championship. And it's so intense with the period of games. I think it's a brilliant education for him to be up at the top of the Championship where they, they should win. They want to win every game. I think it's perfect that he stayed there because we've got enough depth to get through the next 4 months in our midfield, I think. But I'm hugely excited.
Yeah, me too. And Jack, you have to say that Carvalho is playing in a Fulham side which is just absolutely flying and scoring goals for fun.
Yeah, no, he's electric. I think he's got like 7-8 goals in the Championship with like a couple of assists. So for a lad at such age coming to a Fulham side that has expectations every single season. If you do get relegated, their owners and fans expect them to come back into the Prem. But yeah, and hopefully, if we do get the deal over the line this summer, potentially if they are in the Premier League, we just allow them to flourish in the Premier League, get first team appearances, obviously getting Harvey Elliott from Fulham in the tribunal fee as well. But yeah. Fulham, as I think everyone's saying, they are our new Southampton. So you never know. Let's keep tabs. Good relationship. Obviously, Nico has gone the other way as well. So keep an eye on Fulham because for any other more attacking talents that we want in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll just scroll back up. It rains today in Sweden. Yeah, it has been weird here. Irish weather is no better. Sleet, rain, fog, and everything in between the space of about half an hour earlier on today. Yeah, that was like here. I think our major buys will be in the summer as players exit. Also, we need to make room for fresh players. Yeah, 100%. He has been awesome so far this season, tearing Championship defences apart. Yeah, he has as well. Mary, I hope I have your confidence for later on in the season. They are going to win us the league last game of the season. Well, we will see.
Yes, Mary.
We will see. I love that. I love that confidence. Sunny, 80 degrees here today. Tomorrow, rainy high of 60 degrees. Joys of Florida winter. I tell you, so that's still pretty high anyway. I'm looking forward to the rally Seb at the end of the month. Lucky Liz, lol, rotten here. Yeah, it's been really lovely here today. Been in shorts all day. Really nice. Evening Reds and others. Andrew Williams, I missed the cold weather. Hi, Jeannie. Hi, Jeannie. Oh, yes, I would imagine I would also... It's not cold here. Everyone talking about the weather. Is this kind of podcast?
You start today.
That's very true. Hello, Niall. Thank you very much for tuning in. Oh, evening, Niall. All right, fella. Breaking news. Luis Diaz kidnapped and told to leave Liverpool. Divock, Origi and Takumi Minamino to be jointly responsible. Oh, dear. Oh, dear, oh, dear, oh, dear. LFC, the future's so bright you got to wear shades. You've been watching The Office, Liz. Oh, The Office. The Office, The Office. I'd probably prefer it with... No, actually, I'm not actually seen the British Office, actually. So, but
it's the best program ever, Doug. And I like the American one's good, but the British one's just... It's only like 14 episodes. It's just 14 golden nuggets. Best program ever. Got to watch it.
Well, I will definitely watch it on your behalf, Dan. We have been joined by the lovely Sophie. How are you, Sophie?
Better late than never, I suppose.
Don't worry about it. We're just talking about Fabio Carvahlo looking like it's looking very, very close anyway.
Yeah, I can't imagine it wouldn't be for the club to go through. I don't know what you've just said, sorry, because I've been driving. But I feel like to go through all that trouble to try and get the deal pushed over the line by 11 o'clock, it feels like a waste of time, doesn't it, to just let it go?
Yeah, absolutely. A wild Sophie appeared? What? Anyway, that's all about incomings. Now, there were a couple of outgoings. Well, actually, no. There was some news earlier this week that is probably not going to come as a surprise. LORIS Karius is to depart the club at the end of the season. Basically, what's happened is that Luis Diaz has taken his Premier League spot. Now, I had no idea that LORIS Karius still had a Premier League spot in the Premier League squad. But Connor, it's obviously not worked out for LORIS Karius. He's had countless loan spells. There was even a suggestion he would have probably been potentially playing in one of the games against maybe Shrewsbury as well. But if I'm LORIS Karius, do I just go now or do I just stick it out to the end of the season?
I don't think he'll go now. Practically he's under contract, isn't he? It's been a sad time for LORIS Karius since of course, the Champions League final. Went out on loan to Besiktas, had that whole drama with the contract situation and the wage situation, which I think is still not resolved and that, but he just needs to leave and go. I think the real question is, where does he go? Does he go back to Germany? Does he go, the French league? It's a sad situation, and I wish him the best, but it is that for me. I think it's just where does he go? Because there's no one, there's no one in the Bundesliga that looks like that they need him. I know Union Berlin, they were thinking about going for him, but then backed off it and that. So it's just interesting where he'll end up. But yeah, I was surprised as you. I was surprised he was given a Premier League spot, but I'm guessing he took Shaqiri's.
Yeah, he must have. Dan, I've got to be honest, I was surprised he was still at the club.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, there was talk of there was one of these mad Twitter rumours went a few games ago that he was going to play, I think, as you said, and then that never came to fruition. And then I think Klopp said, didn't he, like there's been talk he's going to play this week, but that he's not going to play no more. He's finished. I do feel a bit sad for him, because as fans and as a club and all that, you'd always think that we're going to get to another final, and obviously we did get to another Champions League final just a year on. And everyone at the club sort of had that redemption thing, didn't he? The redemption arc and got to win it and all that. But he obviously never. And it's with the best will in the world, unless something amazing happens in his career now, he's never going to get that moment, is he, to sort of right the wrong. And on the highest stage of all, he was it was embarrassing for him, wasn't it? And his girlfriend and his mum were there, and he were crying and all that. And it was, it's sad, and from the human aspect of it, it is sad because it's hard to think that he'll ever get that redemption shot again. But listen, he's still a professional footballer. I'm sure he can go away and rebuild his career to some extent, and hopefully that'll be next season for him. I'm sure there'll be someone out there who'll take a punch on him in the summer.
Yeah, I mean, I do feel for him. I honestly do. I feel for him that he's not had a look in. I think he's probably now down to 5th choice, 6th choice goalkeeper now. If you really think about it, but Sophie, I think it's time for him to move on. Unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, I completely get what Dan's just said there. On a human level, it's impossible not to feel for the guy. Like, he came to us with such high hopes. He did really well. He got us to the final, and it just seems that one game, that one event, has undone all the good he ever did. And I know he wasn't the world's best goalie, but he had potential in not as big teams as us. He had potential for somebody in a lower in the league, or one of the German teams, one of the lower Italian leagues. He had potential to be a really good keeper for one of them, and it's like a mark that's just stuck with him that he just can't seem to get rid of, and everyone remembers him as the goalie that fucked the final. And it's such a shame. And he's only a young lad, and I feel so sorry for him because he must relive that, and he must kick himself over and over and over again. And he knows that ultimately that is the reason why his career has gone stagnant, and it's heartbreaking. But he can't. He's doing more damage, I feel, hanging on to Liverpool than if he just terminated his contract and gone as a free agent somewhere else, moved back home, or gone somewhere else and just trained on his own, got himself a trainer, and he'd have been picked up by a team. It's done more damage, I think, in coming back from loan and staying here just to train. I know he's getting a good wage and all that, and he's probably not that ass, but I just feel like it's just doing his reputation more harm than good. And he hasn't got the best reputation to begin with, let's be honest. But it's time for him to go. And I hope he builds himself somewhere. And I hope he is able to redeem himself. And I'll be so happy if he does. But he's just not made, A, for the Premier League, and B, for the big team like Liverpool. He just...
Yeah, I mean, Owen, Klopp usually doesn't get it wrong with many LFC signings, but is it harsh for me to say that Karius has been a failure?
Yeah, I think that would be harsh. I think we signed him for 4 million, which is, not even a packet of peanuts. That's like 3 peanuts in today's, market. And no, I think it's very interesting what Sophie was saying just there about, I think you're right. Of course, he's not quite at the level. Klopp bought him as a risk. But 2 things that I will always say to defend him is one that, statistically, he didn't make any errors until the final. When he got in the team, if you remember, in January of that year from Mignolet, he was the official number 1 from January. From January to May, he made 0 errors that led to goals. And for example, Petr Cech, LORIS, and all these other great goalkeepers at the time, they had all committed at least 1. David De Gea, I think it was 3, between January and May, between the same period of time. So I'll always mention that if anyone brings him up in conversation to defend him. And the second thing is the concussion that we haven't mentioned as well. The fact that there was that big collision with Ramos, and it could well have affected him. Whether that was just a story to cover, the club trying to cover their tracks, I don't know. But I'm going to assume that it was true. And he was also concussed. That's why he made such glaring errors, which even for someone who can kick a goal kick out for a corner is particularly impressive. But yeah, so I think I can maybe, the reason why he's staying and not gone on a free is because he realizes himself that he'll never get as big a contract. So he's just being a businessman, and he's just saying, well, okay, give me the 25k a week until the end of the season. And I'm going to use that money to invest it and think about my career outside of football, and then sign for, Turkish second division team or Japanese team or something like that,
Yeah, I mean, Jack, obviously we can talk about the Real Madrid game, like the high-profile mistakes, but it was one game in particular, I think it was against Tranmere Rovers, where a free kick is actually hit directly at him, and he actually he any mucks up. He basically flaps at it, and it goes to a Tranmere player, and they score. Like, I'm not get any criticism for him at all, but it's just, I've never thought he was Liverpool quality from day one. And the thing is, he has a hard task of getting in the team now. You've got Alisson, who is number one for a long, long time. You've got Kelleher, who looks like ready-made replacement as well. You have to feel for him.
Yeah, as everyone's already said, footballers are human, and Liverpool, even they're still paying the wages, and Liverpool is a football club, and the modern day clubs now have got a responsibility of, especially in a social media age in which we do find ourselves in. Yes, you can say players they're in vast amounts of money, but it's impossible not to see the criticism that comes your way. And any part and level of football, Liverpool have got a responsibility for every single player that they employ at the club, and even the canteen staff and everyone that represents the great club that is Liverpool, to protect them in terms of psychologically as well. And I think a couple of weeks, I think it was last week, Liverpool were the first Premier League club to install a psychologist in terms of social media. I don't know what in terms of departments it is, but it's a massive indication of where football is going. And the bigger football does, and especially the Premier League does grow, there's going to be more pressure in terms of psychologically for these players. Yes, they're earning vast amounts of money in terms of the bank account, but they're only human footballers. I think a lot of fans around the globe forget that. But as everyone's already said, it's about time until, as Soph said, until he leaves the club, he won't move on in his career. He's 28 years old. He's still got a large portion of his career to go. I know everyone's saying he could go into modelling. He could do, but it's up to him if he can be bothered in terms of he's gone through so much psychologically. He might leave Liverpool and just retire or become a pundit. You never know. So it's up to him. But 28 years old, goalkeeper's longevity is about late 30s. So he's got a long way to go. And fingers crossed he can get his football back on track. And the quicker he leaves Liverpool, for his benefit, will be massive for him.
I'm just trying to think where he could go. I'm just thinking he could.
There'll be a lot of clubs around in the Bundesliga, mate. Even the bottom tier Bundesliga. I think he's valued currently at like 1.5 million. Liverpool did get, I think, 2.5 million in terms of the Besiktas loan, when we did loan him out a couple of seasons ago. So
yeah, it's a pity what happened with that loan deal, but. Yeah, I think let's see what some of you are saying on Karius. It's time for Karius to move on. Yeah, I think we're all kind of in agreement. That's a bit harsh. Do you need time to party? Karius to MLS?
They could move for him, wouldn't they?
It'd be a good move. I don't know if he would go there, though. That's the thing. Kane saying he could go into modelling. I'm not even joking. Nice enough looking lad. But football isn't his future, I don't think. Well, you never know. Karius could go to Scandinavia or MLS. I don't know. I don't know about Scandinavia. MLS possibly. Championship or Scotland. I don't think he's going to go to the Scottish Prem. I don't think he'll go to the Scottish Prem. Championship, maybe. Hopefully, Karius finds a club for his confidence. Yeah.
I think Jack's got it right, to be honest with you. Sorry to interrupt. I think Jack's got it right. I think he'll end up back in Germany somewhere.
Yeah, I think so. Or life of a goalkeeper, if you make.
He could get China. Get good wages, and people would want to see him.
Hasn't the Chinese league flapped it a bit though? Now I was reading. I never read the story, but it was saying it's all hitting the wall a bit. To be honest with you,
really?
It was all built on sand.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Don't know what
if you make a mistake, no one behind you to cover.
Yeah, I'm just going to butt in again, just because I can. I've been reading through the comments, and there's a lot of people saying Loris Karius made loads of mistakes. He made mistakes against Bournemouth. He made this mistake. He made Real Madrid mistakes. You can't, and I'm going to defend him a little bit here. No, Karius wasn't our number one. No, Karius is not good enough for Liverpool. However, to say he made so many mistakes and that's why he's not a good goalkeeper. No, he was out of his depth against top tier strikers and wingers and attacking midfielders. going up against people like Kevin De Bruyne, Sergio Aguero, you know, Raheem Sterling, the speed of them. You know, I know I've just named City's squad that like front line there, but you know, it's difficult for any keeper. The best keepers struggle. We've seen Alisson and Ederson and De Gea. You know, we've seen Neymar. We've seen players, you know, goalies come from abroad to play against Premier League teams, and they struggle. It's a hard job when you've got elite players running at you. And if you're not at that level, then you are going to struggle. But what I will say about Karius is, yes, he made very simple mistakes, but equally, Alisson has made very simple mistakes sometimes as well. And it happens. To error is human. And his mistakes are highlighted and emphasised more because he's not at the quality. He can't cope with the intensity of the teams running at him. And it's as simple as that. It's not that he's a bad keeper. It's just he's out of his depth.
Yeah, 100% agree. Gillian's reason I can't class a player who balls his career in that fashion as anything other than a failure. Bank keeper losses the final role when you don't go across the box. Karius was good for us until he wasn't. Liz, you've been watching The Irishman. Never good enough for Liverpool. Gareth didn't make mistakes for Real Madrid. He did before that when we lost 4-3 to Bournemouth. 16-17 for a Champions League final season after, so not just Madrid. But my point still stands. Hopefully he finds a club. Yeah. If the boss saw him as number one, he would have started the season as number one. All right, the firm. Hope you're all good. Tom May, thank you for tuning in. There was talk of him joining Grutter Firth in this window. Maybe there. I did read about that. To be fair to Grutter Firth, I watch a little bit of the Bundesliga. They've actually had a bit of an upturn in fortune, and it seems to be Wolfsburg. They're actually plummeting down the table as we speak. They were top for about 6 weeks, and then all of a sudden they've...
Sorry, Doug. I've genuinely never heard of that team. What division is it? Obviously the German team. Are they the German top flight team?
Grutter Firth went 20 games without a win, and they beat Union Berlin 1-0. They beat Union Berlin 1-0. And just ever since then, they've been picking up a few points. I think they beat Arminia Bielefeld. I think they beat Wolfsburg as well. So
the top flight are in Germany.
They're last in the Bundesliga. They've got 3 draws and 1 win and 1 loss in their last 5 matches. But I'd never heard of them either. So I just googled.
Yeah, they're before they actually came up to but when they were in the Bundesliga last, they managed to accumulate 4 points. That was the lowest ever for a Bundesliga side. So 4, yeah. So they're not that good. But Karius had good games for that final.
Bundesliga.
Man City in the Champions League, he did well, but one of them. Hi, Tom. Karius to Austin FC. They're about building players up. That's a good idea. Feel sorry for Karius. I still think he could be a top-class goalkeeper. All right, lads. Nathan, just go home now. A bit tipsy from too much lager, but hope you're all well. Oh, my gosh. I don't think you'll be drinking lager at 2 in the morning when you and Paul are travelling up to Anfield on Sunday. Wow. Hi, Nathan. Boo, says Andrew Williams. Karius and Adrian are the same. Adrian a little better, but both need to leave. I think Adrian will be away as well. I don't see him staying. 47 wins, Andrew. I think that's about Swansea and Cardiff. Hi, Helen. Grutter Firth are quite a good team, I think. They're all right. They're all right. Wow, 4 points is grim. Yeah, you can say that again. Hi, Douglas. Douglas from booming Bundesliga knowledge there. I never heard of them either. Jay Pearson, I hope you're doing well. We need you. We need to get you on this Friday show. I've had Mick on. I need to get you on. I hope you're doing well anyway. So Bundesliga knowledge, indeed. But Karius to pastures new. Now, there were 2 players that went out of the club. Nico Williams and Nat Phillips go out on loan. Or should I call him Naldini? Yeah, I'll call him Naldini. Naldini going to Bournemouth on loan. Connor, right move for those 2?
Yeah, I would say so. Nico Williams, he needed time, didn't he? I think he's realised for a long time it's very difficult to beat, a player that's being classed as a generational talent in Trent Alexander-Arnold and realizes he has to go out to a team and make it his own. Look, he, of course, he'll help Fulham, playing high championship football. That's what you want. And I think, look, for me, I think he'll do well at Fulham without a shadow of a doubt. And I think looking at it as well, if he does well, then I think that he'll sign for Fulham maybe in next season in the Premier League. Nat Phillips, for me, AC Milan just screams at it. And I was really surprised when he joined Bournemouth. But again, it's a move that makes sense. I know that Liverpool didn't want a loan; they wanted a buy. But look, if he can go and boss the league with Bournemouth, I think they'll probably try and put a bid in the summer if they get the Premier League as well. So it's good all round. It's just their announcement video, but it was pretty good with Bournemouth. And, so I like that.
If anybody hasn't seen that, it's literally Nat Phillips looking at his phone of his wee turn against Zlatan and Kessie in the San Siro. So yeah, it was absolutely brilliant. Dan, I was quite shocked when I heard Nat Phillips was going to go to Bournemouth. I actually thought he would get a Premier League move. Are you surprised to see him drop down to the Championship?
A little bit, yeah, because in the summer there was talk of a move, wasn't there? And the teams that were linked with him, there was even in the window really, there was teams like Newcastle and Burnley, lower Premier League teams interested. And I think, to be fair, both of them really are Premier League players. I think I think they both could have done a Premier League move, but obviously if no one was coming in for them, then the next best bet is to go for a high championship team where you've got a chance of getting promotion. I've got a soft spot for both of them, I'll be honest with you, so it was sad to see them go from that level, but realistically the standards at Liverpool are so high. Nico's never going to get in ahead of Trent, and I don't know how old he is. He's not like a baby, is he? He's about 22, is he, maybe? I don't know.
Good question.
21, I think, but I'll check.
Yeah, but as I say, he's at an age either way that he needs to be playing a bit more, doesn't he? He can't have seasons where he's playing 3 or 4 games. Whereas who's the other guy, Conor Bradley, he can sort of step into that role now and be like an understudy and play the odd game. But Nico needs to play, especially is he Wales in the World Cup this summer?
They're playing Austria in the qualifiers, and if both Wales and Scotland win their qualifiers, it's Wales against Scotland to get into the World Cup.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. So there's a chance then, isn't there? Obviously, that a decent chance that Nico could potentially be going to the World Cup, and obviously you don't want to miss that. So yeah, a good move for him. And yeah, Nat's similar. He's actually older than Joe Gomez, isn't he? So he's done well this season. Obviously we had to keep him because we didn't know what was going to go on with Van Dijk and Gomez. And obviously Joel Matip's had his injuries, and Canate, I was led to believe, had a few injury problems when he was over in Germany. So we've kept him as backup, haven't we? We give him a little pay rise, didn't we? And sort of a little sweetener, just a bit of golden handcuffs, I'd call that. But yeah, he needs to play now. So yeah, good luck to him. But I think long term, they can both be Premier League players.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Sophie, I think the thing we can remember Nat Phillips was for last season, him and Reece Williams played outstandingly. Last season, and they were the reason we got top 4 for sure. Sad to see both of them go.
Yeah, in a sense, like the nostalgia side of me is like, yeah, I mean they stepped up when we had nothing. Everyone will remember Nat Phillips with the bloody bandage on his head, carrying on. Like the memes about him, like him in training with the headers, like heading concrete blocks and all that. Like nobody will forget that. And in a sentimental side, I'm going to miss them because they're our lads, you know what I mean? I'd miss any of our lads when they go. We have to go on good terms. But business side, football side, you can't get emotional and you can't, says me, who absolutely adores Virgil and will cry when he goes. But you've got to think about what's best for these players. They are young. They've still got a potential to be there. And being 5th choice centre-back for Nat is not going to get him anywhere, is it? It's not going to help his career development. And you could argue, and I did argue, that the reason I thought he signed was to continue that development under Virgil and Matip and that when they get on with our coaches to really get the best kind of like centre-back education he can. And now he can take what he's learned, his experience in the Premier League at a top-flight club, helping us seal top 4, and he can take that somewhere else and really shine, because he's not going to shine in a team where Virgil van Dijk and Konate and Matip are your centre-backs. They walk into any centre-back lineup, those three. He's never going to shine there, and he deserves to. And the same with, with Reece. Again, he deserves to shine. He was never, if we hadn't had that injury crisis, he was never going to step foot on that pitch as a centre-back for us, unless we were playing the kids. Never, on a million years. And he stepped up, but it's not something that's sustainable. He can't continue to do that. He has to go somewhere. And I said the same about Karius before. That's an appropriate squad for his capabilities, and it's as simple as that. So personally, I'll be sad to see them go, but I'll also be happy for them because it's their careers.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Owen, Nico Williams' debut couldn't have came at one of the hardest places to go is the Etihad. So obviously, best of luck to him. But my question to you is, do you think Nico Williams in time will develop into a right-sided midfielder? Because I don't think right back is his position.
Maybe he's more naturally a wing back. Regarding his age, he's actually still 20 and 297 days. His birthday is on April the 13th, so write it in your diaries if you want to send him a card to Craven Cottage. I hope that he does really well at Fulham. I don't really follow international football, but, Wales is my team. I needed you, Doug, to tell me what if Wales are qualified or not. So, that's how closely I follow it. But I do have, an extra sort of affection and bias towards Welsh players. So Nico Williams, what an athlete for a young kid. He's got a wonderful, ability to get up and down that line, and I think he's got a great talent. I really do, and I think with regular football he can develop into a fine player in 2 or 3 years. For example, of regular football, I think he'll be brilliant. I really do. We've seen it in flashes only, but those flashes were pretty bright. And as for Nat Phillips, I still dream about the guy. I dream about there's this particular photo of Alisson's header against West Brom. There's a particular angle you can get. I tried to Google it before. I couldn't quite find it. There's one angle where you can really see Nat Phillips's position, where he honestly looks like an angel from a 13th century beginning of the Italian Renaissance painting, where he's floating up in the air right next to Alisson as Alisson's head makes contact with that ball. Nat Phillips, living angel. I wish him all the very, very best, as I do to Nico.
Yeah, definitely. Jack, obviously, I'm just actually seeing on that banner there that there should be possibly one more name there. Are you surprised Reece Williams is stuck by?
Yeah, he's just come back from his loan, didn't he? In reality, in terms of, but he wasn't getting any playing time from Swansea at the minute. And judging from the Swansea fans, he weren't really impressed in the little brief moments. But the lads are young. I thought Nico was a bit older than that, but still 20 odd years old. He's still got a lot of time to develop, and as everyone's already said there, fingers crossed he can get 13 minutes and. You never know. I think he's still valued at quite in and around like 10 million, 7 million. So he's, as everyone said in the chat, it's difficult to break into when you've got such a player of the ability of Trent is in reality. But yeah, all the best to the lads on loan, Nat. I think Liverpool were just driving a hard bargain in the window just gone in reality. I don't think any Premier League club was probably happy to pay at least 10, 15 million. If we got that, then it would have been tremendous. But yeah, as well. And obviously, fingers crossed, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll just go through comments. You're frozen, apparently. I don't know if that was earlier. I honestly don't see a future for Phillips at Liverpool, and I hate saying that. He's just never going to get in ahead of the 4 centre-backs ahead of him. Good and all as he is. Yeah. Generational, come on, man. Love the guy, but I reckon he's gone for good in the summer. That's a bit overstating Trent's level. Damn. Neco wanted to leave as I think he saw his game time limited, and Phillips played more than Neco. So yes, loans are the best for those two. Yeah, absolutely. I'll just go through that. He's 20, but his birthday is soon enough. Yep, did see that. Neco's not good enough, unfortunately. Simicast has gone to a level that Neco's not been able to as a backup fullback. Yeah, definitely. I'm surprised Nat Phillips left. Thought he would make the future team. No, unfortunately, I don't think so. Buzzing to be at Anfield for Sunday. That is Luke, I think, because I know that Luke is going there as well. All the best to Nat Phillips. Absolutely love him. One of our players of the season last season. No nonsense. Solid centre back. He'd be in the Premier League with Bournemouth next season if he does well there. Yeah, Bournemouth have sort of slightly gone off the boil a little bit. Matt had been our best centre back this season, being superb, stayed fit, being very good. Yeah, I like Nico Williams. Unfortunately, he has no future at Liverpool. Same with Nat. We'll be in the Premier League next season with Fulham if he does well. Yeah, absolutely. Phillips and Williams deserve everything they want. Phillips always lives down the Cruyff turn on Zlatan and putting Kessie on his ass. Yes, absolutely. Worse than the likes of Aquilani. Yeah, yeah, I did see that. I think Neco should start at Fulham. Hopefully he does. Surely Nat will start at Bournemouth. I tell you, Bournemouth had an absolutely incredible window, by the way. They had Nat Phillips, the Kiefer Moore, who will obviously come on to Cardiff, the Kiefer Moore, Todd Cantwell. Now, you think of a player like Todd Cantwell, who is being linked with like your Liverpools, your Uniteds. I think he was being linked with Newcastle. The fact that he had to drop down into the Championship as well is mad. Absolutely mad. So it's very weird. I got to a few Fulham games with some in-laws. I've seen some Fulham fans interested to see Neco link up with Harry Wilson. Yeah, I forgot he was there. I watch Alisson's header a lot more than is healthy. I know what happens, yet I'm still shit scared that is going to get in the way. Yeah, Twitter search about Reece Williams. It's because Connor sits very still. Connor always frozen. Cam was pretty classy on his day. Yeah, he is. And he's lost his way. He's lost his way ever so slightly. Who was linking Cantwell with Liverpool? He's good, but he's not great. Loads of people were being linked with Todd Cantwell for sure. So that is two players that have gone out, but two players that we may have probably expected to potentially move on because of the Diaz signing have remained. So, Connor, listen to this front line going into the end of the season. Mohamed Salah, Diogo Jota, Sadio Mane, Roberto Firmino, Luis Diaz, Takumi Minamino, and Divock Origi. Now, when you want strength and depth for a bench, think of our bench. We're going to have one of the most strongest benches that I can even remember of us having.
It's not bad, is it? It's like we're turning on to City overnight. No, it's great. Finally, Liverpool have strength in numbers, and look, with like the people that you've just mentioned, they the best attack in Europe for me, without a shadow of a doubt. It's the fact that we can. It's practically now we can shove on anyone to win a game. We could literally start 6 forwards if we wanted to. But look, of course, we will have to move a couple of people on in the future. But I think, look, that Liverpool now we can fight on all fronts. Now we can try and catch City up for the Premier League, go all out in the Champions League. Of course, we're already there in the Carabao Cup, almost, and the FA Cup. It's great that Liverpool can now fight. Well, for the quadruple.
Well, that's been very, very optimistic for sure. Dan, are you surprised those two have stayed?
Yeah, I suppose so, yeah, because, I mean, we know FSG likes to balance the books, don't we? And it seemed pretty obvious when the Diaz deal went through that, if they can balance the books and sell Minamino and get a few quid in for Origi and Minamino, then that's probably what they would have been happy to do. But both players wanted to stay, didn't he? I made up really. I've always had a bit of a soft spot for Origi, and I always sort of feel like both of them have done well for us this season in terms of minutes that they played, compared to, big goals and assists and whatever else and goal involvement. So I think they both done well, as fifth and sixth choice forwards this season. And I fully believe that Origi will have another big moment for us this season before the season's done in one way or another.
Yeah.
In terms of Minamino as well, I read a stat on YouTube the other day, and it said Takumi Minamino scored 4 out of his big 5 chances for Liverpool this season, and then it went ... You're still thinking about the one he missed, aren't you? And I thought, yeah, that sums it all up.
Yeah. Sophie, I did read that apparently Luis Diaz can take the place of Adrian, Takumi Minamino, or Divock Origi in the Champions League squad. Surely it's going to be Adrian that gets dropped.
Was it not Phillips he was replacing?
No, we have to get rid of a overseas player in the Champions League. So, Sophie, Adrian, Takumi Minamino, or Divock Origi, who is Diaz replacing? Do you think?
Oh, bye, Adrian.
I'm not so sure. I think it might be Minamino.
I don't know. I think
because you need.
Yeah,
sorry, I don't want to interrupt, but you need a keeper, don't you, on the bench? If one of the keepers got injured, we'd only have one then, wouldn't we? So
yeah, I suppose.
Milner.
Everybody would kind of want it to be Adrian, but I think Dan's going to be right there, isn't it? It's going to have to be Minamino especially when you bring in Diaz into the front line, and then you've got Jota, Salah, Diaz, Mane, Bobby, then Origi, who undoubtedly is a cult hero and will come out with like a scorpion kick out of the middle of nowhere. And Minamino doesn't impress, does he? Bless him. So yeah, I think Dan's
there is actual pictures now on the LFC website and the LFC Twitter of Luis Diaz in the Liverpool top. So very, very exciting for sure. Yeah, exactly that one.
Just pulled up my phone, then I was like,
Yeah, he looks good. He looks good, but
but look how happy he looks.
He's not one of us. That's as beaming as we would be, isn't it? That's great.
I just want to give him a cuddle and be like, "Oh, come on, hon, welcome."
I know. I've been told off by Jeannie Owen because apparently I haven't called Origi Lord Origi, but how important are those two to Liverpool and potentially fighting in all 4 fronts this season?
Oh man, I'm delighted we kept them both. Dan is absolutely right when he talks about their goals per minute. I've got them in front of me, really. With Divock, for example, in the EFL Cup, he started 2 matches and he's got 2 goals and an assist, including the back heel flick that I'd forgotten about for some reason against Preston. And then I watched it back at our Road to Wembley on YouTube, which is a great compilation that someone's made. And yeah, that sort of flick back, it was unbelievable. In the Champions League, he got a goal and an assist. In the Premier League, 2 goals, no assists in 41 minutes of Premier League action. Divock, you just give him any sniff of goal and he'll score. I think he's an unbelievable finisher, like really incredible finisher. And then Taki Minamino in all competitions, he's got 2 goals in the Premier League in 94 minutes only. 2 goals in 94 minutes. That's Alan Shearer-esque. Of course, it's such a small sample size. But in the EFL Cup, 4 goals and 1 assist from 4 starts and 1 substitute appearance. So it's crazy how great they are, because as you say, the 5th and 6th choice, we could not ask for anything better. And now they're going to be 6th and 7th now that Luis Diaz has arrived. So, I mean, wow, we are stacked going forward, and we've got options coming out of our ears. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, Jack, I've never thought of a Liverpool bench to have so much depth. It's gone are the days where we were like crying out for. Well, actually, some fans were crying out for depth, but 7 forwards now to stack the bench is very exciting.
Yeah, turning into City. Wait, what?
Yeah.
Not quite on that level. We can bring on senior internationals fully, but yeah, it's Divock. Like the game we've seen against West Ham. He is the one player in the squad that does come off the bench, that provides a clinical goal threat in terms of in a recent time. And if you are playing a big game in Europe, and you never know, we might in a couple of weeks or a couple of months' time in Europe have to throw Divock on to get a goal in the knockout. So you never know. But yeah, I don't think past this season we'll see both of them at the football club. But for now, for the period in which we have got at the minute, they'll plug in some gaps. But I fully expect both of them to leave the football club in terms of Minamino. There's no chance of him getting ahead of Diaz in reality past this season. But yeah. You never know what the transfer fee will be in the summer.
Yeah, absolutely. Liz Golden, that front line doesn't suck. Nope, absolutely not. Hello, Alan. Hi, lads. Great lineup. Oh, sorry, lads and lady. I leave my front door open with our front three. That's Lord Origi. There's me getting told off. Oh, here we go. Start playing a revolutionary 2-1-7 formation. Van Dijk and Matip at the back. Fabinho in front. And then just stick Mane, Salah, Jota, Bobby, Diaz, Taki, and Origi up top together. You can see the flaw already in that, can't you? The midfield would be absolutely bare as anything.
You can already the criticism, even though Trent wouldn't even be in that team. He can't defend. He's not even on the pitch.
Not shocked about Origi's stay, but I expected Minamino to leave. No offense, Minamino fans. Minamino replaced by Diaz. Sorry. We've had some decent 23s down the years, haven't we? Yeah, we have. I have Robbie Fowler, Jamie Carragher,
Emre Can and Shaqiri.
Yeah, Shaqiri. I'm not so sure Emre. Well,
no, but he wasn't bad, was he? I reckon it's probably our most successful number. Because we've had people like El Hadj Diouf was number 9. Do you know what I mean? Who soured the number 9, and we probably had a few crap number 10s. I'm sure Voronen might have been number 10, mightn't he? But there's not really been an outright stinker in the 23. Was he 10? Was Voronen 10?
Voronen was 10, yeah.
That's it. Amazing.
He was shocking.
Man looked like Zlatan Ibrahimovic in the pre-season.
Origi 33 goals overall for LFC since he's been with us. Taki has not very many, as he's only been with us not very long. Genie laughing because I think he told me off for be very worrying if Diaz wasn't happy in the picture. Well, they both scored last minute winners, equalisers this season. I'd say they're fairly important, but that's always me in every picture. I never smile. Origi is I think that's meant to say clutch player. Glutch player. I've never heard of a glutch player.
I'd say clutch, any.
Divock, Origi. Time to fly home to Belgium to retire. Gone are the days of the likes of Ibe and Ojo on the bench. 100%. Yes, 100% agree with that. Hertha leading Bochum 1-0. Thanks for that. I think I said 1-1 for that, actually. We are more stacked than Carlos Morrison's empty shelves. Sorry, just had to throw a dig where I used to work. Although waxing lyrical about Liverpool's depth on the bench, who wants to see Klopp's first Liverpool? But oh God, go on then. Just give us something to. Just give us something to smile about already. Emery wasn't all that, to be honest. Hey, Douglas Panel, lovely to see Sophie. Haven't seen her for a while. Oh yeah, you haven't been in the comments actually for a wee while, Cedric. So that reminds me. Hi, Cedric. Emery wasn't as good as he thought he was. Oh, here we go. Adam Bogdan, Kolo Toure, Joe Allen, Jerome Sinclair, Joe Carlos Teixeira, and Connor Randall.
Amazing.
Wow. Jesus wept. Oh, good old Adam Bogdan ended up at Hibs in the Scottish Prem. That just shows how crap he was. Right, moving swiftly on from that. We do have a game. We do have a game to preview, and it is Cardiff City. Oh ho ho ho. Connor, obviously, I know you don't really support a Welsh club, but people have actually said, "Oh, Connor's a Cardiff City fan." First of all, have you managed to see Cardiff City? And if I'm Liverpool in this game, with everyone potentially ready, apart from obviously Salamani, who will obviously come on to that very, very shortly, we should be confident beating Cardiff, surely.
Oh, yeah, definitely. To be fair, you can blame the first accusation to the guy in the bottom right of our stream.
Whoa! What the?
No, I'm kidding, of course. But no, looking at it, Cardiff have been terrible this season. They're very lucky that Derby had their points deduction, and I think pretty much the bottom half of the championship are very lucky. I think that, and the big thing that I don't get is the fact that they've sold what's his name?
Kiefer Moore.
Yeah, I don't get that. They're already struggling for goals in terms of that. Defensively, not the best. I know they got a win against, I think it was Bristol, 2 days ago. But apart from that, they have been abysmal this season, and I wouldn't be surprised if they would be in that conversation to be relegated. So, but yeah, in terms of numbers, Liverpool should be okay, even if we put out a weakened side. But, Cardiff, they've got nothing to lose. It's the FA Cup. They're going to try and put everything on the line just to, get the away win. But I'm confident no matter what side we put out on Sunday.
Yeah, Dan, do you remember the last time we played Cardiff in a cup tie?
I didn't, but just with you saying it, I'm presuming it was the cup final, was it?
Yep, and Charlie Adams' penalty is still going down Wembley Way as we speak.
Yeah, it's amazing that, innit? Because we missed the first two pens, didn't we? And they were two people you'd normally say was a banker. I mean, Charlie Adams had his critics, but one thing he was good at, he had a wonderful left foot for them set pieces, and he missed his, and then Gerrard missed next. And somehow or other, we still managed to win. I think Everton fans call us the Devils Club, didn't they? And I'm sure they did that day. But yeah, I'm looking. I'm a bit nervous. Well, not nervous, but I always hate these cup ties against lower league teams. It's always like a bit of an effort, isn't it? It's an early kick-off, isn't it?
Yeah, it's noon kick-off.
And it's always a bit like, we can just imagine it's going to be windy, crap atmosphere and all that. And what I always hate, like, I don't really go to cup games, and I always hate the way the commentators are always so biased towards the smaller club. It was the last FA Cup game against the other week.
Shrewsbury. Yeah.
Oh, mate, the commentator on the channel I watched, he was like the chairman of the Man United Supporters Club. I think he was so biased. They've always got that little bit of, obviously because they want that shock and all that, 'cause that's going to make their name if they're there. But they've always got that little bit of anticipation in the voice and all that, and they always like dumb down everything Liverpool do. So I hate these games, and I just hope we put any sort of team out. Let's get out there, let's beat them, and let's, as whoever was said, let's attack these 4 trophies going into the new year and keep this thing going as long as we can. Listen, we're not going to win all 4, but let's keep it going as long as we can and see what we can pick up. And this is the first chance. Interesting team, innit? Because we play on Thursday as well, hoping against Leicester. So I presume there'll be a couple of the Leicester lights starting, and we'll see. It might even be a chance for Origi, who knows?
Yeah, Sophie, how are you feeling about this game?
I couldn't care. Just don't care. I'm sorry, I feel like the world's worst fan there, but I'm going to be honest, I just don't care for cup games. And I think I say it every week. I don't care for cup games. I've never cared for them. I never will. I just don't give 2 flying accoutrements. I mean, if we win them, I'm made up. But I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm just spoilt now that I just see the bigger picture, the bigger trophies that I want. I want the big ones. I want the big ones. I want big ears. And I want the Prem. They'd be nice, but I'm not asked. If we go out, I'm not going to be crying. Like, I'm not going to be upset.
Yeah. I mean, Owen, fair play to Cardiff for a noon kickoff. They're taking 6,700 supporters to fill that Anfield Road end.
Splendid. And no doubt they will make a lot more noise than the Liverpool fans, because I think a lot of people would share Sophie's attitude of just like they're a small team. It's a small competition these days, the FA Cup, but I'm really excited about it. I'm really excited because it feels like various geological eons have passed since we last played. I don't know about you guys, but the AFCON's already feels like it's lasted a month, and I don't know. It's just feels like ages. So I can't wait to watch our Reds play. I like Dan. I'm a little bit nervous because I was looking at Cardiff's record. They were absolutely abominable between the basically the 24th of August and the 3rd of November. They won one match, they drew one match, and they lost, I think, 13. Yep. Since then, they've won 6 matches, lost 5 and drawn 2. So they're definitely coming back up in terms of form. Like Connor, I have no idea why they sold Kiefer Moore, but I think if we lose this match, I'll be all right. It won't really bother me that much, but I'd really like us to have a good FA Cup run. Connor mentioned the quadruple before. It's still on. It is a far-fetched notion, but the fact that it's still, there's still this tiny sliver of chance. This, then I like, a little sliver of chance, so I'm going to cling on to it. Yeah.
Middlesbrough have just scored at Old Trafford.
What scores that 1-0?
That's 1-0 to Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough have just scored at Old Trafford to make it 1-0 to Middlesbrough.
The revolution.
What goes on in United right now is like a soap opera. I feel like Old Trafford is now like the Queen Vic. And Ralph is Peggy Mitchell, and he's coming out going, "Get out of my pub!" And then the other ones are coming in going, "No, that's not what I said." And I think it's hilarious that the manager's coming out and saying, "Oh, so and so said this," and then the player comes out and goes, "No, I never said that." And I'm sat there going, "This is like free. This is free TV. That's the TV. Like you're just boss." It's great. So funny.
Netflix pay an extraordinary amount of money to follow teams, or Amazon, whatever, to follow teams like PSG and these really successful teams. But if they did it with Everton or with Manchester United, I'd watch it. I'd watch it so much because it's just, it's more exciting when there's more drama. And,
but it's Arsenal this year, isn't it? It's Arsenal. They've been recording this year for the All or Nothing. So I think it was Tottenham last year.
That's going to be hilarious, by the way. Absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, it always seems to be that whoever has it always has a bit of a bad season, don't they?
Well, apparently people are now saying it's still 0-0. So I don't know if people are getting ahead of themselves or anything. But if Middlesbrough score, then fantastic, absolutely fantastic.
Might have been VAR.
Oh, maybe.
Oh no, there's no VAR. I don't know. Still no according to Google.
I'm going to ask this, Jack. Who plays in goal on Sunday?
Kelleher. Oh, I don't know. Everyone else feels, but for me, we'll go into I won't spoil the team lineup a bit later. Yeah, but I go with Kelleher, mate. And off the back of what everyone said, I know not a lot of people don't like the cups, but I think Bill won our very first cup in 1965 or something. So we've won it 7 times. It's in our history. If we were counting the trophies towards our history, then obviously that and the Captain One Cup as well. It's ingrained. And for me, I want Liverpool to win every game of football, even for either side. And if Liverpool did win the FA Cup, we'd be showing off all around the gaffer. We did win like 3 or 4 trophies this season, so it counts towards the end of the end goal, and it gives young players a great opportunity to very much represent the club. But obviously, the priority is Champions League and the league. But
okay, so does everyone agree with Kelleher then?
I'd give him a go. I think he's showed he's more than able deputy, and so you've got to give him game time. So yeah, why not?
Right, Connor, back 4.
Trent, Gomez, Kanate, Tsimikas for me.
Trent? Ooh.
Yeah.
Not Bradley.
Only because the European lads haven't had a game in 2 weeks. So I think it might just be 50, 60 minutes, to them, and then bring on Connor Bradley. Or it might be the other way around. It might be Connor Bradley might play 50, 60 minutes, and then Trent might get half an hour.
Okay.
I think the rest, like Kanate, Gomez has to play. He hasn't played at all this season, barely, and he needs minutes because with Neco now gone to Fulham, it's probably likely that Joe Gomez is now back at right back. I think yes, he needs game time.
Yeah, I have to definitely agree with that. Dan, midfield 3.
Not too sure. The only one I'm pretty confident will start will be Harvey Elliott.
Yes.
I think he'll definitely start. And then the other ones, I think they'll be looking at Thursday. There's not a massive amount of turnaround. Is there obviously Thursday, Sunday, and we need to Leicester, can be tricky customers. So I don't think Fabinho will play for some reason. Maybe they might leave him out. Honestly, I'd just be guessing. But maybe I know I'd like to see Keita get a game as well. Keita's come back from the AFCON. He's meant to be looking good. So
maybe
Naby get a game in there somewhere. But the only one who I'd put me house on playing would be Elliott, and other than that, I'd just be guessing, mate. But apparently he was really good, wasn't he, last week? He played in a behind closed doors game, didn't he, Elliott? And apparently scored and got a couple of assists and looked really sharp. And I know Klopp really likes him, so I think they're going to try and get him fully sort of back in the team as quick as possible.
So we're all saying Elliott for that one position. So it's about the final 2 midfielders. I honestly don't know.
It's just guessing, innit? You know what I mean? It's just guesswork, as I say, because you will definitely have an eye on him. An eye on Thursday somehow.
I'm thinking Morton and Henderson. Sophie, what do you think?
Yeah, I just said I was gonna say it would be Thiago, because he's been out fitness wise, but obviously he's now back out with a chest infection. So I think you don't want to overplay your best. Maybe Naby. Oh no, he's just come back, hasn't he? He needs a break a little bit. Yeah, I think I'd go with Morton and Hendo, to be honest.
I've given you the task of the front 3, Owen. What do you think the front 3 will be?
I mean, in midfield, I'd go Henderson in the 6 and Curtis Jones with Elliott, and up front.
Oh yeah, sorry, Curtis Jones. Sorry, Owen. Yeah, Curtis Jones will start.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's easy to forget. We've got so many players. I mean, James Milner maybe would be worth a shout as well. I mean, he's presumably been running up and down mountains instead of going on holiday. But yeah, up front, Luis Diaz, I would start him. Just chuck him in because I'm excited to see him play. I'm sure Klopp won't do that, but I've just got, I just chuck him in there with Divock because. I think Divock needs game time if he's going to score, in the Champions League final and the FA Cup final. And I would play Taki for the same reason. I think I would play those two because afterwards we've got Leicester, we've got Burnley, and we've got Inter Milan in 6 days, and I would play my best team for all 3 of those, because I think those 3 are just hugely much more important than Cardiff. And I think Origi, Minamino, and Diaz could certainly do the job.
Yeah,
it's a penalty to
I wouldn't be surprised if he did start Diaz. If he was available, just for the simple reason that it's going to be a bit flat in it, and that'd give everyone that little bit of a buzz, mightn't it? And might just get everyone sort of on the edge of the seats a bit. You know what I mean? Get the fans up and all that.
I think so.
Which is always a big thing, isn't it, for Liverpool, as we know?
Jack, I know you've got very, very outlandish predictions. So what is your prediction for Sunday?
I've only gone 2-0, mate. I was speaking to Paul, weren't I, before? They play 5 at the back, so you know what they're going to do. They've only kept 2 clean sheets all season in the Championship. So, yeah we should get the goals, but it could be one of those afternoons, early kick-off, as we said. But for an FA Cup shot on the card, you never know.
Ronaldo's just missed a penalty, by the way.
Was he?
They definitely got out now, aren't
they? Unlucky Ronaldo. I'm going to go 3-1. I think they might nick one. I don't know why. I've just got a feeling they might nick one. Connor?
4-0 for me, mate. I've gone full on Makendo.
4-0.
He's replaced my shoes this week.
Yeah, I've gone 4-0 this week.
Dan?
Yeah, I sort of agree with you, Doug, and Jack. It'll be. I can see it being a bit of a struggle, a bit of a plod, and I think we'll probably just edge it 2-1.
Do I ask Sophie? I know she doesn't do predictions. No.
To be fair, I do agree. I literally, as soon as I saw the game, I was like, 2-1 FC are coming back for that. Like it's just
2-1 FC.
Yeah. It's got that written all over it, hasn't it? Like, we'll get an early goal. They'll scrap one back before half time, and then we'll get one at like the 86th minute or something. Yeah. It'll be one of those games, and it'll be like a scrappy little goal at the end, like a no-look tap-in by Bobby off a rebound or something. And...
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, guys, I am coming to your comments. So don't worry. It's a bit of a bumper show tonight anyway. I'm never come for a cup game against a lower tier side. You never want to be scalped. Connor does support Wales. Watching them stink the place out of the Euros against Denmark. Jesus Christ. At least Wales are at the Euros, Chris. Cries Gailage? I think that's it. I just got a bag from an LFC store delivered to my door. Can't wait till Sunday to open it. Oh yeah, happy birthday for Sunday, Liz.
Happy birthday.
Yes, happy birthday for Sunday as well. Come off it. I doubt his penalty is still flying after 10 years. You're just being ridiculous. And then it stops. Kelleher, Bradley, Gomez, Kanate, Simicas, Milner, Morton, Ox, Gordon, Firmino, Minamino. That's a good side, actually. Woohoo. Are you 29 again, Liz? Liverpool 3, Cardiff 0. Should be comfortable win. Let's not sit on the fence with splinters up our backsides. No, Helen, my daughter is 28. I think I was watching the same person commentating part of the Man U supporters club, I think.
Yeah, he was awful.
This year is the first time in a while where I've actually been arsed with the cup. I was only annoyed over going out of the FA Cup last year because it was United. Yeah, I was as well. It's not nil. It's still 0-0. I wonder if Liv's gift is something to do with a certain number 7. I was at Cardiff Liverpool League Cup final. The absolute scenes watching Charlie Adam. Crikey.
What a player, eh?
Aye. Cedric, my husband got me a James freaking Milner t-shirt. Oh. Fantastic. Yeah, I see it's 0-0. A lot of people saying Kelleher. Now that we're in the League Cup final, I want to win it. Had we gone out in the third round, I wouldn't be arsed in the long run. Yeah, that's definitely. Can't wait for Jack's score prediction. Well, I was quite
disappointed. Sorry, Chris.
Kelleher, Trent, Gomez, Kanate, Simicas, Martin, Hendo, Elliott, Taki, Bobby, Diaz. Ooh, game putting Diaz in there. Won't be shocked if Diaz and Elliott start though. Yeah, definitely. Fab just played 2 games in 4 days. Don't see him in the squad. Yeah, he played for Brazil, didn't he? Yeah, remember we can't play Kate after he just played a game of foot. This is important. Oh dear. Taki, Origi, Bobby. Yeah, that could be potentially it. I've gone 3-1. I could see them getting one back in the second half. Liz laughing. Lol. Jack being sensible with score predictions. Why? What's happened to Jack? Ronaldo missed a penalty. Ronaldo. No, anyway. Oh. Well, to be fair, I did say one on Connor's stream. It was my mate David has had his ID stolen. He's just Dav now.
Very good. Fernandes has just shanked one over the bar, by the way. Bruno Fernandes was 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper, and he absolutely kicked it to the moon. It was great.
Oh, what a shame. 4-1 LFC, 3-1 Reds, 4-1 LFC, 7-1. 7-1. That would be interesting. Because it's Liz's birthday, 5-0, you damn right. Gala, the Irish word for Irish. Oh, okay. Cedric, I was waiting on Man United fans. I don't think it worked. Please don't let this one hit me. Oh, Jesus. Do you have a mate called David? I've got loads of mates called David. It just reminds me that an overturned lorry carrying jazz musicians is overturned on the M1. expect lengthy jams.
Excellent. Well done. Well done. They just scored Sancho.
It was good while it lasted, anyway.
It was fun.
But believe it or not, we actually do have another game this week. It is Leicester City in the Premier League. I'll be honest, Connor, I was absolutely pissed when we lost to Leicester.
Yeah, I think pretty much all of us wasn't we? Like, what was it, the first time Mo had missed a penalty in 18 attempts in the league or whatever it was. And yeah, we were all pretty annoyed afterwards. And look, revenge to anyone? Chris, I agree. But yeah, no, I agree. I want revenge against Leicester. And, I think the crowd's going to be up for it because especially, the Cardiff Cup and, the Jota celebration that we all loved after it, I think we're all hoping will be the same again. And look, we have to keep up with City, and hope that they slip up, which will be the major point about this now. Just, Liverpool have to go on a run now of, 12 on the bounce or 10 on the bounce, something like that, just to be able to put the pressure on City.
See, I'm going into this game, Dan, thinking that we just focus on our game. Don't focus what City do. If City drop points, then absolutely fantastic. But just to let them know, if we go on a wee run, just win a couple, because they've got a tough wee run coming up. I think they've got like Man United, Tottenham, and I think they've potentially got Crystal Palace in there. And we all know what Crystal Palace did as well. So focus on us, get the 3 points against Leicester. And then we've got a little bit of a wee good run coming up with Burnley. I think we've got Milan and then Norwich after that.
Yeah, mate, that's all we can do, isn't it? Still a pretty sizable gap, isn't it? And listen, since the Watford game when we lost 3-0 in the 19-20 season, we've never won more than 5 Premier League games on the run since then. Our best run is 5 games. So we've got to focus on ourselves. We've got to try and put a big run together, which we haven't been able to do for the last 18 months, 2 years. So if we can do that, then yeah, I'm sure we'll put some pressure on City. But yeah, we just got to think about ourselves, really. The last 2 times we played Leicester, it's not just revenge for this season. We lost last season as well. Remember, that was a bit of a farcical game when we were 1-0 up and then we capitulated. And then this season, although we didn't play that well, we were the better team. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. We missed the pen. Kasper Schmeichel's man of the match. So it is a bit of a revenge game, this. And it won't be an easy game. Leicester still in the Cup, still in the FA Cup, aren't they? They've got a game this weekend. But yeah. It'll could be a tricky one Thursday, but yeah, if we can win, let's just say each game in the league at a time, and if we can do our bit, let's keep our fingers crossed as he starts dropping a few points.
Yeah, I mean, Sophie, all we've got to do is beat Leicester. Just focus on what we're doing. Oh, I don't.
She moves to herself or something. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know.
I completely zoned out.
I was talking to you, Sophie. Sorry.
Sorry. I completely zoned out for a minute. Then I was like, what? And then you just looked at me and I was like, shit, was that me? Sorry.
Yeah, what I was just saying is that we just need to focus on what we're doing and not what City are doing.
Yeah, I think that goes without saying for everything, to be honest. I mean, the more time you spend worrying about what your opponent is doing, the less time you're worrying about, your own success. And I think Klopp's put that mentality in the boys really strongly, over the last few years. And so, take it one game at a time. We thought we were going to struggle massively during the AFCON period, and we've ended up actually doing really well. Sorry, Cedric, I will pay attention. Apologies, as I was out sometimes. You do 2 hours of personal training and then come and focus. It's hard. But yeah, I think, the lads are just going to take it one game at a time. They're just looking at Leicester for us. They're not worried about what City are playing and what their score is. And then, we'll go to the next game. And if City drop points and we manage to gain points and we close that gap even further, brilliant. And if not, it's not meant to be. It's as simple as that. But you just got to take it game by game and focus on what our results are.
Yeah, I mean, Owen, I've not been particularly impressed with Leicester this season.
I mean, Leicester fans haven't been, or Leicester players, or I don't know if anyone's been impressed with Leicester. Maybe Brendan Rodgers has been impressed. I don't know. Maybe he's the only one. But no, I think Brendan. I mean, he's really good at coaching forward-thinking players. I think. Because Vardy's been brilliant under Rodgers. I mean, he's a brilliant player anyway, but there are a few of them. Harvey Barnes before his injury looked like he'd come, so far in his development before his unfortunate injury. He looked amazing, but now unfortunately, after an ACL, it takes time. But I think Rodgers has just never been able to coach a defence. And if you talk to Leicester fans, they talk about Vestergaard, for example. He signed for them. I mean, Southampton fans were happy that, Leicester paid so much for him anyway, but he hasn't improved. Who else have they got back there? Who was I thinking of just then?
Daka?
No, sorry, they're centre-back. Soyuncu, sorry, yeah, of course. Went out of my mind. Soyuncu's been shocking. He's been really, really, really poor this year. And, I'm just looking at their fixtures. I mean, if City put 6 past Leicester, it wouldn't surprise me if we did similar. We're going to have our first team, more or less. And I just think we're gonna maul them. And it's going to be the day after Man City play Brentford. They're at home to Brentford, which could be tricky. But as the other guy said, we got to just focus on ourselves. No, I'm very excited about the Leicester match. Very, very confident.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Jack, the thing with Leicester fans is that they are actually obviously we all know Anthony. We all know the guys from obviously beyond the 90. Obviously Chris, Brad, etc. They're thinking this could be Rodgers' last season, and actually, when you look at it, he's actually been too stubborn to change his ways a little bit. It reminds me of his 3rd season at Liverpool a little bit.
Yeah, and I think all of us joked last season. We knew, we joked about that Leicester would bottle it for the 2nd year on the bounce, but we want revenge for that result, the 1-0 away win. Obviously Leicester won, and it disappointed, and it's never going to be an easy game. It never is against Leicester. But fingers crossed we can do the business when we play them. But it's, as the panel has already said, everyone before, you just got to win. Focus on yourselves and win every single game that comes in. Sometimes it's not as easy as that, but fingers crossed. But it's just Rodgers has to go the end of the season. I think he's massively underperformed with this squad. Tell you, Leicester have got some of the most talented players within Harvey Barnes. I'll tell you what, Jurgen Klopp. What Jurgen would do to a Harvey Barnes. But obviously we signed Diaz, so we're not getting him. But he's a tremendous little player. But
yeah, absolutely. So lineups in particular, Alisson will be back in goal. I think we can all agree on that one.
Yeah.
Right back will be Trent. Left back will be Robbo, and then it'll obviously be Van Dijk, Matip, and then I think we'll see if fit Fab, Thiago, Keita, and then I think Diaz will make his home debut. I'm going to go Diaz. I'm going to go Jota, and I think Firmino might play. I think we might see Salah and Mane on the bench. Does anyone disagree or agree? Or
I wouldn't. Sorry,
I listened there. I was listening this time. I wasn't zoned out. I listened. No, I don't think Klopp's already come out in his presser and said that Mane and Salah will be back. Whoever loses will be back the day early. The one who wins will go home for a parade for an extra day, but both of them should be back and ready for the Leicester game. I think if the boys are fit and are ready and are rested enough, maybe Mane might get rested, but Salah's a machine. If Salah is raring to go and ready to go, there's no way on the Scots Green Earth he's putting him on the bench in a Premier League game. Absolutely no way. I don't think he's dropping Hendo in the midfield. I think if fit, we're going to see a Thiago, Fab and Hendo midfield. Maybe sub Thiago off, Hendo off, around 60, 70 minutes, bring Harvey Elliott on if he's back again. Like, if he does play the Cardiff game, give him a few minutes. I don't think we're going to see Diaz. Not yet. He's just been on internationals. He's not played with any of our team. He's very new. He only arrived there today. It's how much training is he going to have with the first team? We know he struggles with the language. His language is still poor. That might interfere with it. He needs to settle. And we know that Klopp has got a habit of letting players have a long embedding period. I think that's too much of a risk to throw him in the front three. I think front three will be Jota, Bobby, and Salah.
Okay. Very, very interesting. Right. I've got to ask you this, predictions, because I did a prediction stream earlier, and actually now thinking of it, I think I've been too lenient on Leicester. So Connor, what are you going for this game?
I've gone 3-1. I think revenge toll. So I think Liverpool are just going to go all out for it and just try and batter Leicester. So yeah, 3-1.
Dan?
Yeah, I think Leicester can always be dangerous, can't he? The Jamie Vardy, as we know, prolific, isn't he, against Liverpool? So I think they'll sneak one somewhere. But yeah, maybe 2-1, maybe 3-1.
Hang on. I don't ask Sophie predictions. I need to remember that. Owen?
Both those guys, very sensible predictions. But you know, we've got a bit of revenge on our minds because we lost our last game against Leicester. I think the crowd will be up. I think if Brentford somehow get a result at the Etihad, it could be absolutely mental, the atmosphere. In which case we could win. You know, I think Leicester are dangerous, but I still think like 5 or 6-2, maybe. You know, one of those crazy games. But yeah, more sensible prediction would be like 2 or 3-1 as well. But I think let's go for the fireworks. 6-3.
6-3. My goodness me.
Oh, well, we had a mental game with them, didn't we, in the League Cup? What was that? That was 3-3, wasn't it?
That was 3-3. Yeah.
That was a great chaos match, wasn't it? And where anything was happening.
6-3 though, is it? Jesus Christ.
No, but it's still a crazy game, wasn't it?
That's out there, Owen. For you, that's out there as well. I'd expect that from Jack, that way. I would not expect that from you.
Wait till my prediction. Wait till my prediction. Jack?
3-0, because I think we will listen to their nonsense Tories. You can just hear them already, the Tory nonsense that I'm singing.
Oh, bloody hell, yeah.
That's true,
the league game, so the
I
crowd...
just want Jota to bang a goal. Sorry to interrupt. I just want Jota to bang a goal and then just go, fuck up, like he did last time. I just wanted to do it.
That's
one
of the highlights of the
celebration.
season, isn't it? Great.
Yeah, you like a little bit of a shithousery player like that, and definitely Jota's like that.
I'll go 3-0.
I'm going to go one better. I'm going to go 4-0. I think we'll maul them. I think we will absolutely maul them to whatever you do to foxes is hunt them. Honestly, I think Leicester under Brendan Rodgers, and especially we get set pieces, we have to take advantage of their set pieces because their set piece delivery or set piece defending is shockingly bad, really, really bad. So, 4-0. I think we will give them a bit of a doing, and revenge will be on the cards.
We'll hunt the foxes like the Tories. Is that what you're suggesting?
No, you're not. We don't have that kind of language on this channel, thank you.
Okay,
no, definitely when it comes to that word. Anyway, we'll go strong for this Leicester game. Mane, Salah, Diaz? Nah, I don't think so. We owe them one after the last game. I don't dislike Leicester, but there are a few C words in that squad who call Leicester home. Cough Vardy, cough Madison, cough, cough, cough. That's funny. 2-0 Reds against Leicester. Yeah, we know Sancho's just scored as well. Alisson, Arnold, Matip, Van Dijk, Robertson, Fabinho, Henderson, Jones, Diaz, Firmino, Jota. Salah, Mane will be on the bench after playing AFCON final. Sorry, what were you saying? I got distracted. Liverpool 3, Leicester 0. Liverpool 3, Masterclass 3-0. Brendan stubborn as always. With Leicester budget, Rodgers has actually overachieved before 1920 season. No one expected them to finish top 6 in back-to-back seasons and win an FA Cup. I don't think Mane needs a rest, to be honest. His form at the beginning of 1920 was ridiculous, especially considering he made the 2019 AFCON final and had virtually no pre-season. Yeah, that's true. For me, Leicester right level is top 10 challenging for Europa League places. That's it. FA Cup 5th round draw will take place Sunday lunchtime. LFC. That's ridiculous. Doing the draw, doing our... No. That can't happen.
No.
Nah, Dan not going 1-1 anymore. Her 1, Bulkham 1. I think I did say 1-1 actually. Have a great night all. Thank you, Liz, and happy birthday for Sunday, of course. When was the last time? Oh, here's a good question. When was the last time we played a game that ended 6-3?
Cardiff, 13.
It's got to be.
Yeah,
it's got to be Cardiff.
14.
Yeah, that was a mad game as well. 4-0 says Genie, so agreeing with me. Has Owen got Jack mine with big score predictions today? My prediction always goes bad. I can't get one right, so I'll just go for it. 3-1 Liverpool. Yep. It was away at Cardiff in March 2014. The Suarez hat-trick, a Skirtle brace, and a late 6th for Sturridge. There we go. Now, very, very quickly, as obviously it has been publicised a lot, it is Mane versus Salah in the AFCON 2021 finals. Senegal against Egypt. Now, I can't believe I'm actually asking this. Who do we want to win?
Mane.
I think for Liverpool, it'd be better if Salah won.
I'm in agreement.
I'm in the Salah camp.
I think he carries it more on his shoulders. And I think Mane will sort of be, he's had a good achievement getting to the final and all that, but I think Salah carries that country more on his shoulders and he takes the responsibility for it. Also, I think he'd have a great chance of winning the Ballon d'Or, which I think is something that's on his wish list, and then he can achieve that at Liverpool, and it might not be that thing where he thinks, I've got to go to one of the top European clubs to sort of get the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah,
so I think better for Liverpool if Salah won it.
I don't know. I don't really care who wins, but I get what you're saying, and it all makes sense about Salah winning, but I feel like Salah is the obvious choice, that he's like the one that you just expect to win because it's Salah. Mm-hmm. And I know it gives him all these like step-ups, but I feel like Mane needs it more than Salah does.
I agree.
Salah knows he's the best in the world. Everyone in the business will tell you that Salah is the best in the world, and I just need Mane to have. He's had such a rough season and last season, and he's had a little bit of a blip. Everyone's saying he's finished and he's gone. No one thought Senegal was going to get through to the final. No one put any support behind Mane. He's like the underdog, and Liverpool are used to being the underdogs, and I feel like Mane would just not appreciate it more, but appreciate it more, if you know what I mean. I'm not saying that Salah wouldn't care. I'm just saying I feel like it would mean more in a sense to Mane. Yeah. And I want to see that little man happy. I want to see him smile.
Go on, Dick. Sorry.
I must admit, at the start of the tournament, I said I predicted Senegal to win the whole thing because they've never won it. I just felt with the squad that they had this time around, I just thought they have a big chance of winning it. And now they're in the final. I do think Senegal are going to beat Egypt. And the thing is, this isn't the first time they two are playing. They're playing 3 times in the space of a month. They're playing the AFCON final, and then they've got 2 World Cup qualifiers against each other. So one is Sadio Mane and Mohamed Salah are not going to the World Cup, which I think is a big shame. I really do.
And regarding Dan's Ballon d'Or shout, I mean, I would prefer that Egypt won the qualifier and Senegal won the final because, I mean, Salah then goes to Qatar, has a great World Cup, because that's at the end of the year, isn't it? I don't know if the Ballon d'Or is voting when it's done. I've got no idea.
The reason that everyone said Messi won it this year as well was because he won Copa America.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a really good point. Would it be more influential for Salah to go to the World Cup and hope maybe win something there? Would that help his Ballon d'Or shout more than winning AFCON?
Yeah, or at least having a great World Cup. Yeah, finishing top scorer. Who knows? But I just think for Mane, yeah, for his confidence, because he's a confidence player more than Salah. Salah, we know, everybody knows he's going to be great when he comes back because he's always great. Mane, his form's been in and out, and I just think with a victory for his country for the first time after they've lost a couple of finals, I just think it'd be brilliant for him, a great boost for him, and therefore for us. And just a shout out to someone on Twitter, I don't know who it was, but they said that Salah's concussion seems to have knocked him back to 18-19, which was a good tweet, because he's certainly on fire since being concussed. But obviously I hope he's all right. I'm just kidding.
I must admit though, shout out to Vincent de Boubacar.
Oh,
did anyone see what you said about Salah?
Yeah. So he's not that great or something, didn't he? Yeah.
I think I quote tweeted it and was like, "Tell me you don't understand football without telling me you don't understand football."
Yeah, unfortunately, Egypt are in the final, and Cameroon are in the third place playoff. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I mean, Connor, it's a win-win situation, isn't it, for Liverpool? Sort of seeing two of the talisman front three in the final.
Yeah, it's Liverpool final, which is nice. I'm kind of like in the middle. I'm just like I'm sound on whoever wins. To be honest with you, because for me, if Liverpool, as we hope, win big years again. I think Mo just by that should win the Ballon d'Or, and hopefully will then get the praise that he should anyway. But trophies, I understand everyone's opinions about it and so on. But for me, I think the trophies matter more than the qualification for the World Cup. So I think Mo. But look, I'm happy for Mane. I'm happy for Mo. Whoever wins, I'm happy for both that they've got to the final to begin with. But to be honest with you, I'm happy with whoever wins with it. It's been a boring question.
Yeah. Jack, what do you think?
Well, I think we're just so blessed to have both two of the best, if not in the last couple of years, two of the best. It just shows where Liverpool are as a football club, that we've got two of the best African players at the heart of Liverpool's team. I think it'll be a very long time. You're looking around Europe that there's no other team that is in the position Liverpool are. Obviously, we've got Bobby up front as well, and obviously Jota for Portugal. Right, but I'm in the Salah camp, as the lads have said, and everyone on Sofa as well. It's important that Salah, if he does want to win the obviously Ballon d'Or, it's important that he does win a competition. And you never know. Hopefully, Diaz kicks Mane's backside into gear. Mane bangs in about 30-odd goals next time this year. So you never know. But it's the beauty of that's why you sign players like that. But yeah, it's who to pick in an argument, your mum or your dad. You don't want to be in the book, so you just stay out of it. Like you're like, oh, don't want to pick sides, so then you get dragged into it, and you're like, oh. So
yeah,
so
that is quite funny. As mad Egypt won it 7 times with the greatest spread in the world. I don't think they won anything. If it hurt Salah, Senegal won both. Actually, all Mane wins it to shut those haters up. I couldn't be arsed with the Ballon d'Or glorified popularity contest. It boils down to which one of Messi or Ronaldo scored more brownie points online that year. Karma hit Abubakar. Yep, 100%. Abubakar not exactly played for big clubs, just saying. I think the only big club he's really played for is FC Porto. Guys, it's been fun. It's been emotional. It has been fantastic to get you all back on to the Friday LFC Focus. A massive thank you to my panel as always. Connor from the Cop Council. What have you got coming up in your channel this week?
Just Cardiff stuff, mate. Sadly, transfer window shut, so we can't clickbait everyone anymore until the summer. But look, thank you for having me on again, mate. And yeah, it's nice to be talking about proper football again. And hopefully we have a good AFCON final as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Dan, thank you very much as always.
No worries, mate. Pleasure to come on. Thank you for having me and let me air my views.
Yeah, you're welcome. Sophie, thank you as always again.
Pleasure. I mean, I may have zoned out once or twice and I'm sorry. But no, it's been good. Been good to be back.
Yeah, absolutely. Owen, massive thank you for coming on tonight. We'll definitely have to have you back on very soon.
Thank you, and let me just distance myself from the Tory fox joke. Sorry about that. I think foxes should hunt Tories, to be honest. But there you go. Yeah, thanks very much for having me on. It's really nice to speak to you all. I'm looking forward to getting back into football again. Yeah,
me too. And Jack, thank you as well. Are you doing a watch along for Sunday or no?
Yeah, of course, mate. Hopefully you're very welcome always to join. But yeah, can't wait. Thank you very much for having me on.
Sounded like Stevie Gerrard then, Jack. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
But yeah, thank you very much for having me on, mate. It was great to speak to everyone tonight and in the comments.
Absolute pleasure, guys. In the comments, thank you very much for your comments. Chat was very, very lively tonight, as always. And it's great to be back. And it's hopefully we're speaking about 2 wins in obviously the FA Cup and then against Brendan's Foxes, of course. But from myself, from the 6 of us, have a lovely weekend. You'll never walk alone. And we will see you very, very soon. Come on, you Reds.